Hello guys, how you doing? Welcome to the weekly market overview. Finally live again with you. Here is Pierre, your trading coach. I hope you guys had a wonderful trading week. I really missed to be live with you and do these sessions, but due to many things going on at the same time, especially that PAFX is growing so much, and we have a lot to do in the room, on the site, making a lot of videos for the video course that gonna come. So yeah, that's why there was not much time to go live. But I've been doing the weekly overview on the recording when I have time, to keep you guys informed on what's going on. So let me know who is with us today, who's new, who's old follower. Say hi, let me know where you're coming from, and if you have any questions today, just put them in the chat and I will try to answer as many as possible. And if you have any special charts you want me to look at, you could do so as well. I will be doing the major first. So there is many traders that want to see the major only, so they don't want to sit here and wait for us to do all the charts. Okay, so let me see who's here. Marcus, Felipe, hello buddy, Christina, Merrick. Whoa, many students today. Welcome guys, welcome, nice to see you. Hello DJ Liam, Timothy, how are you? Who's here more? I think I have some kind of lagging, like 30 seconds or so, so I need to wait when I say something to for the replies. But it's always great to talk to you guys, so keep them coming. Any new in the room today, or you all been old followers? How are you, Timothy? Everyone think it was me that was getting married. I am married already, but I was in a wedding for my cousin. Hello, Benjamin from Ghana. Welcome. I hope you like our channel. If you are, you're new, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to get notification when I go online. Yeah, it looks so, Liam. So I will just fix my charts and we will get started, guys, to not make this go for a long time. Here we go. And of course, the most important thing, I need to fix the news. And then we will get started. Yeah, so guys, let's start this session to not let you wait too much. We will start as usual with the news, and next week we do have some events actually, and a lot of bank holidays, as you see. We start with firstly with all the Chinese. They have bank holidays the whole week, like, but Aussie as well on Monday. Monday we do have also sterling manufacturing PMI, important ISM manufacturing PMI as well for the US dollar. From the Aussie RBA rate statement, we have the Fed Chair Powell to speak. Wednesday, German bank holiday, Chinese keep going. And the sterling service PMI, very, very important to look at. The service PMI for the sterling is more important than the manufacturing actually. And a lot of news from the US non-farm ADP non-farm employment change, of course, ISM non-manufacturing PMI, and once again Fed Chair Powell talks. Thursday, nothing on as a major impact news, and Friday, retail sales from the Aussie, employment change for the CAD, trade balance, and unemployment rate for the CAD. This is going to be a very important Friday for the CAD. And from the US, average hourly earnings was a very important headline. It seems like the last time we've got a push a little up on that. So let's see if it keeps going to the upside. And unemployment change, unemployment rate, and non-farm employment change as well. So yeah, as you see, we do have some good major impact, and most of it gonna be about dollar and the CAD. And at the beginning of the week, we do have some sterling as well. Welcome to the newcomers. I see more viewers now. Hello Mario, welcome buddy, nice to see you here. We will start with the Dixie as usual, and I am on the monthly chart now since we just closed last month's on Friday. We closed the trading months on Friday. It's still September today, but tomorrow we open with a new month. So it's very important to look at how the months close on the chart. So on the Dixie, as you see, we had in August inverted hammer, and September, or mostly last week, we've got much better sentiment on the dollar after the FOMC statement. So the dollar was going to the downside, testing around the 93.90 area before we start reversing to the upside. So as a monthly candle, we do have already a rejection candle here to the upside. Yeah. So if we go down to the weekly, you see that last week ended up as a bullish engulfing candle, which is a very good and strong candle. That could be a possible reversal here at this level, since we do have that area here down here. The 94 level was an important structural level looking left. Yeah. And having this bullish engulfing candle last week after the FOMC, and Thursday, Friday was also a continuation. Seems like much better sentiment for the dollar right now. Daily time frame, as you see, Wednesday at the FOMC, we've got we've been testing down here, move it higher, and then on Thursday we've got a very strong bullish engulfing candle, and Friday I was expecting some profit taking at this level, so that's why we traded higher, and then we started moving a little bit to the downside. There is the end of the month, the end of the quarter, so there should be some profit taking at this level or rebalancing, because many pro traders, they have their bonuses on quarter basis. So usually when you have a quarter end, you see a lot of profit taking and rebalancing. So what happened on the Dixie on the daily time frame, as you see, we broke above this trend line. No matter how you draw this trend line, it's now broken, and there is possibility for a push higher to at least test these highs up here around the 95.75 area for the dollar. So if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, you see that we also broke above the 200 moving average right now. And let me take off these daily pivot. We do not need them right now since they are old. And one thing to remember also, that my pivot levels here they are still for September. Yeah, the monthly pivot MR1 and MS1, I didn't update those yet. I need the market to open to give me new pivot to update that. But what happened here, we had this range, broke above it, and we start going long in my trading room. and we broke above this range, and as you see, the market did reach all the way up here to 95.37 area. So the level I am interested of right now for the Dixie is a possible retest to these to this range down here, a correction to that level, then maybe a possible continuation. Yeah, but as you see, this level here, if the dollar reach this area, it is the first level to look at, but there is a possibility also so that you see some deeper correction, even more maybe to the lower neckline down here. So you need to have some confluence at that level and a good signal. So if we take Fibonacci retracement tool, you see that we have the 38.2 at this structure that I'm talking about, and the 61.8 is also at another good level that we could use as a possible buy area. So we have the first level up here, the second level is down here. Okay, so that was it for the Dixie. A little bit longer explanation, but to let you know, guys, what's going on. It's very, very important that we do a top-down analysis on that. We maybe can take a fast look on the gold monthly as well, and to see where we are at the monthly time frame. At the monthly, as you see, another bearish month, but not the most big candle ever. It's a star candle. We didn't reach the lows of previous months. We're still testing this major trend line that got broken here. On the weekly, we're still actually inside this range, so we're still going sideways on the weekly chart. So as you see here, we have this range. Yeah, we didn't break below the lows yet. We tested, but there was no close below that. And on the daily time frame for gold, we broke below these lows, and I was looking for a possible continuation down from this area. So where the price is testing right now is a very, very interesting level actually that we should keep an eye at, especially if we start testing these areas up here. Yeah, because now since we broke these lows, we broke this low here, I still see, since the major trend is with us, I still see a possible continuation to the downside. So we should keep an eye on this level to see if we got any bearish evidence at this area around the previous month's pivot point, and the 1195 area here gonna be an important level to look if we get any bearish evidence for another leg to the downside. That is possible now after we broke to the downside. Yeah, hello Trang, Rolf, welcome buddy. Adil, hello buddy. Nice to see you guys. Lots and lots of students today. Happy to see you all here. Oil, as I said last week in the overview, I'm still bullish, and if we look at the monthly time frame, you see that we broke above this 200 moving average on the monthly here, as you see, and it's been tested a couple of times and worked well as support and resistance. So what happened in September, that we went down, tested the 200 monthly moving average, and start reversing to the upside, closing way above August, and I still see that at least the 75 to be tested on oil. Weekly time frame, you see this trend line here working very nice as support, and last week we broke above this range, and there is a possibility for, as I said, a continuation towards 75. And the daily, here we have it breaking higher highs and higher lows all the way, especially last Friday when we broke above previous high, above the 72 area was an important level that got broken. So nothing new here. I'm still bullish on oil. This was the idea I published in our trading room, but for you guys who watch these weekly overview, I've been saying that we are bullish on gold for on oil for a while now. So the level of interest on oil is, let me take this off, from here is actually if we get another retest to this broken structure, and try to find bullish evidence for continuation to the upside. As you see, if we look left now, we do not have anything until we reach that 75 area. So if you are holding along on oil, keep that and start looking to manage your trade or take some profit around the 75 area. If that got broken, then there is much more room to the upside. Yeah, so as you see here, if we look left, let's go to the weekly. If we break this level here, there is not much on the way until we start moving around the 107. So it is a very important level to watch on oil for next week. Euro USD, nice bearish engulfing candle on the weekly. Also, let's take a look on the monthly on that. So rejection as well from this important flip zone here. On the weekly, we ended last week with a bearish engulfing candle, a very strong reversal signal. And there is a possibility for some continuation to the downside since we could not break above previous high here. And with this bearish engulfing on the weekly, and this market sentiment may continue. So on the daily time frame, what happened is that we broke below this trend line, and I think next week this market at least to test this important support and resistance level, as you see, been tested many times as support here. Even these back in the days back here was used as good support and resistance level. Yeah, so keep an eye on this level down here. If broken, that will open the door for much more downside. On the lower time frame, if you look at the 4 hour here, as you see here, we sent this trade idea in the room that on the break, look for the retest and a continuation, and that was a great move to the downside that got hammered. So it is very extended now on the 4 hour, so we need to see some kind of correction to the upside. First level could be around the 1650 here as a possible first area, but I would like to see it moving all the way to this neckline and then back down. That would give us a much better risk to reward, much better stop loss placement. We could go with our stop loss something like this. Our first target, previous low down here, that would give you, as you see here, about 140 pips. With a risk of almost 100 pips or so. Yeah, so this would be the much better idea if we reach all the way up here. So it's all about to wait and see what we get. Sterling, let's go to the weekly on that as well. So you see on the weekly a major reversal hammer, inverted hammer up here at this level. And last week was another move that couldn't make a new high. So we have another lower high here. We broke below previous candle here. So we do have a confirmed shooting star formation here with these three candles. The formation is now complete, especially with the confirmation that we closed below. That for the weekly. For the daily, you see that after this try to push higher with the day after we got this major bearish engulfing candle, retest and a continuation that broke below previous lows. So we are now sitting at a possible support level, but I think any break below this will send us all the way back down on the sterling US dollar. So keep an eye on that level. 4 hour time frame, we've been following this channel and we said a break that give us a retest, then a continuation, and that now is done. Another market that got nailed. So see here where the price is sitting right now. This is an important level, so expect some correction back up. Any retest toward this level up here where it said BOE high could be a good level to look for a possible shorting opportunity at that area. Yeah, Aussie USD still inside this descending channel. Nothing has changed. Last week ended up as an inside bar, So the channel is still intact. On the daily time frame, you see it even more, how the channel been acting as good resistance, support from the downside. On the retest, we've got a try to break outside of it, but that didn't help, and we kept moving to the downside. So nothing below here until we reach this support level down here. Yeah, so try to keep an eye on that, for it is an important support level. We saw that in the past, and it may happen again. Yeah, so yeah, that is a very, very interesting level to look at. 4 hour time frame on that, you see that we broke back below the 200 moving average. We retested this broken neckline, and I'm looking for a continuation toward this area down here now. USDCAD, a waterfall based on great GDP numbers from the CAD, and that the oil did help the CAD a lot last week as well. So CAD was the only one standing against that very strong US dollar after the FOMC, and then Thursday was the dollars kept going strong, and even on Friday. But Friday, when the dollar started getting some profit taking, the CAD got some good GDP numbers, and oil pushing higher helped the CAD to getting very, very strong. So a very strong bearish engulfing. The level to watch next week is, of course, what will happen when we reach this support down here around previous month's S1. At that same level, we do have the 200 moving average on the daily for the CAD. So this is going to be a very important level, and for more downside, we need to see the market breaking, closing below this, and then a continuation. Yeah, so very, very interesting level to keep an eye at. Here we are again at the 4 hour time frame. You see it much, much more here. So very extended move. RSI oversold on the 4 hour. One should expect some support here, some correction, at least back up toward these areas before any continuation. So keep an eye on this. A break below that will send us much more to the downside. Hello Zafar, welcome buddy, welcome. Thank you very much. USD Chief, also let's check the monthly on that. As you see, on the monthly we reached this important level where this 4 months is here. All the close happened at this level that got tested, and the rejection. Yeah, weekly, a very, very strong bullish engulfing candle, and what's very interesting right now is this area here. What will happen when USD Chief, or if USD Chief start testing this neckline here? Yeah, so will it test this level and start showing us bearish evidence to move to the downside once again, or not? So keep an eye on that level. Daily time frame, it looks like this. As you see, we are back above the 200 moving average on the daily, and we should test this level up here. This neckline gonna be an important level to look at if we're gonna get some, at least some correction back down. Okay, this could be a start of a reversal, since we broke previous highs here. As you see, we broke 1, 2 highs, very important highs, and what we want to know if there will be a continuation, something like this, a retest to this broken structure and another push to the upside. That was it for the majors. USD New Zealand is also on the list, and it's always a good pair to look at. The weekly time frame for this pair is an inside bar, as you see here, and the monthly is a doji. So since we broke below this correction level here, this trend line, I was eyeing to retest these lows down here. Yeah, so I still think that may happen, but we maybe gonna see some correction first. So as you see, inside bar last week, and on the daily we still bearish. Lower lows, lower highs. We didn't break previous high here, and there is a possibility that we keep moving lower to retest these lows down here before any move to the upside. We could also start doing some sideways here, but to really think about the New Zealand to start moving to the upside, you want to see this double top here taking out, and then there is a possibility for more upside if that happen. As for now, it is still bearish market, and we should look for a possible continuation to the downside. So last week we broke below this range. We've got the retest. This was the idea sent in the room. We break, retest, and a continuation, and we've got another retest on the 1 hour to this area, and another push to the downside. So for more downside, we want to see this support broken. If that happen, then we start looking for at least a retest of this level down here, and below that we have this major low, very, very important low down here. Okay. Sterling Chief is not on my list, but we could look at that when I'm done with the watch list I have now, Marcus. Aussie Jappy, let's go back to the daily on that one. Let's clean this chart a little bit, and as you see, we are back inside this box here that we've been trading for a while before we broke below it, but right now the price is back inside it. We broke above this major high here. This break above and close above this major high here was very important, and could signal now a possible continuation, especially that UJ did also break an important area. So on the daily time frame for Aussie Jappy, on the 4 hour time frame for Aussie Jappy, we had some kind of flag going on right here. That got some spikes. As you see, we've got this spike to the upside and a little bit spike to the downside, but you should keep watching this possible flag formation here. Keep trading this channel until you have a break to the upside, and that could give you much more upside room on the pair. There is much more upside room on that one, but you want to see it breaking outside of this channel first. Aussie New Zealand, very, very choppy on the lower time frame. Even on the daily, it does not look very pretty good yet, but you should to keep watching this range here. This is the major range the pair is trading inside right now, and we are also trading in a lower range as well. This one here is also a lower range that we've had last week. If we go to the 4 hour time frame on Aussie New Zealand, you see that it is very choppy, spikes from both downside and upside. And actually, when we got such a range, things make it a little bit easier, because you could always try to trade the edges, or if you get a breakout, then look for a retest and a continuation. Because if this breakout happened to the upside, as you see, if we look left, there is not much to hold as resistance until we reach this area up here. So it is choppy, but we have clear range. As you see, this range down here is what important for this pair. For more upside, we need to break above here, and for more downside, we need to break below this, and that will open the door to the downside. But do not trade mid-range. Wait for the micro range here to break. If it breaks to the upside, then you go to next level up here. Euro Aussie, finally we've got this trade to the downside. It was a very good trade we took in the room at 2618 trade after this double top. We draw a Fibonacci retracement, and it was to sell the 618 here. It started a little bit slow, as you see. We pushed back up, but then Friday was a very nice move, one way only. So what I wanted to see on Friday is if we close below this previous low. That didn't happen on the daily, which make it a little bit more tricky for now. So what I want to see is that we break once again on the 4-hour below this previous structure, below the 200 moving average. If that happen, that will open the door for more downside. A possible reversal or a deeper correction to this support area would be also a good trade scenario. If that does not happen early next week, since we have the RSI on the oversold, one could look for a possible retest to this structure and see if we get any bearish evidence at this level to short it from that area instead. Yeah, so we have this neckline here that could act as good resistance. EuroCAD, a waterfall as well, especially after the break of this trend line. There was only one-way trading on this pair, and it is soon now at a possible old support level. If we look at that on the daily, you see that this area been acting as good support and resistance here. If that broken, we gonna test these lows down here, yeah, this last line of defense. So based on that, we should still keep looking for continuation. We may get some correction to the upside next week, starting to test these levels or this area up here. The best would be if we reach all the way toward this area here where we broke the first time. That would be the first, the best level to start looking for shorting. That would give us a much better risk to reward trade in case this area act as good support and we start reversing to the upside from this level. Euro New Zealand, same scenario, also to the downside. This one on the daily broke below previous structure, so we do have lower high, lower low, and another break below this previous low. Soon at this possible support area, that since we broke this as resistant, it may act as support. And the last line of defense is if we reach this level to really look for a possible continuation here. But as for now, I think there is some more room to the downside. And yeah, we've got this nicely on the 1 hour that we broke below this low, retest, and a continuation, yeah. And we broke even below this structure here. So as first area to look at on the 1 hour time frame is actually what will happen when we test this these levels once again. Even better if we reach a little bit higher toward these levels, yeah. That would give us the better, once again, a much better risk to reward. But you could start looking at this first structure first, in case we cannot trade higher than that on the pair. Sterling Aussie, daily time frame. Let's look at the weekly as well. Yeah, New Zealand Jappy, I think it's looked the same, Timothy. That's right. Sterling Aussie, after this very strong bearish engulfing candle, it did a gap up and retest all the way up here. But as you see here, we do have the 200 moving average at this level. At the same time, we broke above this neckline. So this is an important structure here. Before thinking about anything more to the downside, we need to see that broken. But still, when we broke above this neckline, we could not make higher highs than these. We reached once again that 200 moving average that pressing it to the downside. So there is a possibility now, since we broke these lows on the daily, that we reach all the way back down toward this important support level. And if that broken, then we start looking for more downside on the pair. 4 hour time frame, let me take this off. As you see here, it was also same scenario. We said if we break this range, look for a retest and a continuation. So there is still a possibility, if you're holding a short, look to manage the trade when we reach this level. Yeah. If that broken, that will open the door. If this level got broken, the door will be open to next structure support down here. This is gonna also be a very important support level, as you see tested many times as support and resistance as well. Sterling CAD, as the rest of the CAD pairs, waterfall after testing this major level here. We broke below these lows now. On the daily, it looks like this. A very big candle. We broke below this level. I think there is more downside on the pair here. And yeah, we need to see some kind of correction to give us a better entry. The best would be if we test this structure up here. That would be a much better level to start looking for a shorting opportunity to look at. So this structure is what I'm talking about. That would be great if we got that one. Otherwise, we could start looking for flags or any kind of consolidation down here to work with, any kind of range. Sterling Jappy, still no breakout here. We're still inside this range on the 4 hour. On the daily, I think this bearish engulfing candle, the black one here, is the mother of this range. So this low here is very important, and the high here is also very important. What happened here, that both of them was weak last week. That's why we could not see any breakouts and the pair was going sideways. And we need to keep following this channel we have right now. I think this range is an important range to watch. For more downside, we want to see a break below this. That will open the door to retest around the 145. And for more upside, I think we need to see a break above the 150 level up here. This is also a very important level to watch if this will go more to the upside. But now we have a lower low, another lower high, and I'm thinking there is a possibility that we break to the downside instead. Someone wanted Sterling Chief. Well, who was it? Marcus? Yeah. So let's look at that as well. So Marcus, what happened on Sterling Chief? We had a break below this neckline, and then last week was a very strong bullish week. So it's gonna getting very interesting when we start testing these neckline now next week, if that happen. Yeah, because right now we have this pretty nice rounded bottom, and there is a possibility that we see some more upside. I would start look to see any kind of troubles at this level as first, but the most interesting level would be up here at this level. I think around this area, 1.3050 up here. If we break above this structure, start looking for this level to see if we're gonna have a continuation of this move to the downside or not. So those are the levels I would look at. Firstly, this structure here, and the second one, and the much better one in my opinion, is the 1.3050. And let me see, the Dow continue to be strong despite some downside, but on the weekly, as you see, we have an inside bar. We did test the all-time high as well. The daily, after this doji and close below that, this is an evening star formation, so it was a clear signal for more downside. I still think this would be much better if we test this broken structure, really give this broken structure a test down here before any continuation. It is still bullish structure with higher highs and higher lows on the daily, but a retest toward this level would be a much better level to keep following the trend to the upside. On the 4-hour time frame, we do have downside movement, but it starts looking more and more like a possible bullish flag, something like that. So I mean, if we break back above this for next week, lower time frame, 1-hour time frame or so, a retest and a continuation to test the highs of this flag, that would not be shocking, because I mean, they are buying every dip every time, so why not this time? But what I was thinking of on the Dow is mostly if we're gonna test this support level down here before the break of that flag, to retest this level where we also have the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame, and then that continuation. Okay. Woo. So that was the last market on my watch list. We did also Sterling Chief for Mr. Marcus. Nice, Marcus, you have a long, very good. Mr. Felipe, my lovely chat room and community people, of course, you can get Euro Jappy. I think, Felipe, you did already have a great plan on that. I saw that when you published it in the room. But yeah, let's check that. So Euro Jappy, let me take this off. It is still possibly valid channel, but what's important here is the structure is still higher highs and higher lows. The last test was here, was a try to break above the structure here. That didn't happen, and the dip to the downside could also be a possible retest of this major flip zone of support and resistance. So if you look at this structure we are testing, or we did test last week, I mean, it was tested so many times as resistance and support area. Yeah, I think you got the idea. Those are when it was tested as resistance, and many times as support as well. So this is a very interesting level here. The 131.50 is a good support level for now. We do have the 200 daily moving average, so there is a possibility that we see a possible continuation from this one, that we may not get a deeper correction than what we have right now. Yeah, so still a bullish market. I would actually keep looking at this level for any kind of double bottom on 1-hour time frame or so as a first area to try to take a long at, especially if the Jappy keep weakening as it does. Next support, that would actually be this interesting level as well down here, when we broke, retest, and everything, this whole move started from this area here. So I would also consider this level as a good one to look for a possible bullish evidence and a continuation. But a break below this, that would mean a deeper correction, that we start talking about the 129.50 area. Yeah, but looking at the Jappy and how it's been doing, I think there is more possibility that we move from this level up here or this structure here as well. Okay. Euro sterling for Mr. Marcus as well. Yeah, so euro sterling, let's take a look at the weekly time frame. I mean, we had this very strong bullish engulfing candle after breaking below this trend line, and last week an inside bar. But if we look at this candle here, it took out many trading days looking left, and the candles after that, the body of them getting smaller and smaller when we start reaching this possible support level. So there is a possibility that we get another bounce from this level. I would keep looking at this area here as a good support level, or what we may get is also a possible consolidation in this area as well. But I mean, the sterling pairs, they're mostly moving based on those Brexit related news. So one should really keep an eye on that, because they're moving very fast on any headlines that have something to do with Brexit. So you need to be very careful. But once again, Marcus, keep seeing this structure here as good support level for a possible continuation. Yeah, so this could be a correction and a continuation. What's not good about this correction, that it was so deep. And if you're looking for more downside, I think we need to see break below this previous structure that will make the price be also below the 200 moving average and back inside this channel. If that happen, then there is more room to the downside, since we now have a lower low, lower high, another lower high, and we have lower lows and lower highs on the daily time frame. So yeah, that was what I think about this one. You're welcome, Felipe, you're welcome. Yeah, guys, that was it for today. I don't see any other questions or something like that. Any one of you have any questions? I will give it a couple of minutes and see if you have any questions. Yeah, I can answer them right now while we are live. Otherwise, we should call it a day. Welcome, Mr. Marcus. Yes, guys, by the way, the course registration is now open. So for those of you who are still in the thinking mode, if you want to join or not, there is one more week left to do registration. All you need to do is go to my site, www.pa-fx.com, and we still have the 200% offer open. This is the last time we gonna do this course and mentoring program for this price tag. And yeah, if you really want to take your trading to the next level, do go to the site, look what benefit you're gonna get, and see all those great testimonials from the student that done the course. Yeah, otherwise I will thank you very much. I really appreciate that you taking your time being here with me live today. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe, and if you like these videos, hit that like button for me, and see you next week, same time on YouTube, even live, or I will upload a video as well. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Bye bye.